Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful day and a very, very beautiful day indeed. Today is very quietly windy, guys, as you can exactly see, and it's way too hot today. So today is exactly my last day of making this episode. I will see you on next week Monday until next week Friday as well. But today is my last day of shooting this episode, meaning shooting doing this character. I was exactly busy writing more characters, guys. As you can see that the time wasn't exactly on my side. I was also busy walking my dog today and doing washing, so I was literally doing many things and trying to get the picture of the character as well. I was also trying to exactly do. So as you can see, guys, I had lots to do today. Sorry that I wasn't exactly able to shoot on time or exactly to be precisely on time, but it's because that Friday has many more work for me in order for me to exactly do. But despite that, I was able to exactly to prevail and I was exactly able to get here in order for you guys to tell you about this character and about this episode. So today's character and episode is about the Universal King, who is a beautiful king who has lived for many centuries throughout the sacred world for about for 20,000 for 20,000 years throughout the sacred world. He has lived throughout the sacred world for 20,000 centuries in doing so by ruling the sacred universe and the sacred world for many of those times. The Universal King's ancestors have been ruling the sacred universe and the sacred world for many centuries ago and also for 20,000 years during at that time. During at that time, they are at war with the Galaxy King, another king from another universe known as a Galaxy universe. They exactly waged war with the Galaxy King who was trying to exactly remove the Universal King from his throne in order to rule the sacred universe and the sacred world. The Universal King's ancestors and the Galaxy King's ancestors have been at war with each other for many centuries ago, and now it has been passed down to their descendants. This future Universal King is very quietly intelligent, very quietly reluctantly smart, and very quietly caring and loving, and very passionate and and full of compassion, hope, and love, and also wonders. He is very great in leading the Universal Council and also in ruling the sacred universe and the sacred world, and as well by protecting it from sinister forces and sinister threats that dare threaten the peace of the sacred world and the sacred universe and the sacred peace itself. During the course of his long life, he learned the history of the Galaxy King and the Universal King that were quietly at war with each other for many centuries ago. And in doing so, this Universal King decided in order to change the history of the war between the Galaxy King and the Universal King. In doing so, he was able to exactly find a way in order to get to the Galaxy King instead of compromising his forces or his soldiers to wage war with the Galaxy King in sole control for sole dominance over the known universe and also for the sacred world and for the sacred universe itself. The Universal Council exactly agreed that it's time that they exactly take a different approach in order to exactly make peace with the Galaxy King and with the Galaxy King's people and the rest of his kind. The Galaxy King waged a final battle as he launched his battle cruisers and warships straightly across to space, meaning all of his battleships and battle cruisers were straightly launched and straightly headed straightly to the sacred universe, straightly into the Milky Way of the sacred universe that is protected by magical barrier that keeps it hidden and well protected from outside invaders and outside forces. That barrier can only be seen by supernatural beings and alien creatures who exactly have the blood of the gods of light and the blood of the founders as well. So in order just to exactly inform you guys, the Galaxy King has the blood of the founders and the bloods of the gods of light. That blood is so full of impurity and full of light magic within it. That gift of light magic gives the Galaxy King and his forces to see through the glamour and the protection spell cast over the Milky Way and over the other universes that is well protected by powerful ancient magic. So let's exactly continue. The Galaxy King's forces launch his battle cruisers and warships straightly into the sacred universe in order to conquer it and reclaim it. The Universal King did the exact same thing, launching his battle cruisers and warships straightly against the Galaxy King's forces. Both of their battle cruisers and warships were heavily decimated from the skies, as in the Universal King and the Galaxy King were devastated at the loss of their two sizes. The Universal King and the Galaxy King battle in hand-to-hand combat, able to exactly fight each other. During at that time, the sacred universe was quietly in a huge darkened state of a sacred galactic pandemic of a war with the original Lord of Magic in power and exactly conquering many worlds and many planets throughout the galaxy and throughout the sacred worlds and throughout the known worlds of the universe, pledging himself and making himself well known as the ruler of the sacred world and of the sacred universe. In doing so, the Universal King exactly and the Galaxy King continue to fight each other and continue to battle each other. During in the future time of the war, the new Universal Man and the new Universal Heroes and the newly alliance was quietly forged in order to battle the original Lord of Magic. The new Universal Man came to the Universal King in his throne room on the 15th of September in order to ask for his allegiances, in order to ask for him to stop the war, in order to ask for his help and his assistance to stopping the original Lord of Magic. But the Universal King told Universal Man that he's quietly occupied with the Galaxy King, that he cannot exactly literally remove himself from his outpost, remove himself from his situation in order to assist with the sinister threat known as the Lord of Magic, who's already planning to rule. One he needs help in stopping another sinister threat known as a Galaxy King, who's on a mission to conquering and ruling and enslaving the rest of sacred existence. The Universal Man quietly understood that, and he decided in order to exactly share his resources and the rest of his forces in order to help the Universal King put an end to the war between the Galaxy King and the Universal King, which the Universal King quietly agreed at that time. In doing so, they split up their forces in order to assist each other on their various missions, which half of the Universal Heroes and half of the Phoenician Hunters would assist the Universal King, exactly in putting an end to the feud of the Galaxy King and the Universal King once and for all. The Universal King teleported himself straightly into the Galaxy King's universe in order to speak with him directly, straightly inside his dimension, meaning his home kingdom and his home domain, his dimension himself, straightly at the throne room on the 20th of September in order to end the war once and for all. The Galaxy King told his wife, the Galaxy Queen told the Galaxy King that stopping the war with the Universal King is not exactly the right idea because he might be exactly planning some shady stuff behind the scenes. But the Universal King reassured the Galaxy King that he's not exactly planning anything else from behind the scenes, as he brought his colleagues and his friends in order to prove that. And the Galaxy King exactly believed the Universal King with his very much of his word, and he decided in order to exactly rightfully to put an end to the war, which is successfully able to agree. The both of the kings shook hands and stated that the war between them is finally over, meaning completely that the sacred universe and the galaxy universe are now one universe together. The Galaxy King was quietly very much unhappy with this, as she didn't believe the Universal King or trust the Universal King's allies or any of them. But despite that, the Galaxy King also trusted and believed the Universal King, so that the Universal King believed and trust the Galaxy King as well, no matter what exactly of the circumstances that occurred or rather had changed. He exactly believed him and he exactly quietly trusted him. Despite that, they shook hands and they quietly believed each other that they'll exactly assist each other and aid each other on the coming wars, on the coming future conflicts of the sacred world and of the sacred universe and of the galaxy universe that are exactly coming. Realizing that the stakes are more higher than they've ever been, guys. The stakes are literally more higher than they've ever been. Completely. After that time, the Universal King completely focuses all his attention on the sacred universe's problems and also situations, seeing that the original Lord of Magic has been finally killed, and it has created a power vacuum unlike any other. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders are seizing control of worlds and planets. Other alien clans and other aliens empires are also willing to conquer many worlds and many planets and many civilizations throughout the known universe and throughout the galaxy itself. Exactly, the war is like spreading like a virus, like a disease or a virus, which is affecting every world and every planet. The Shadow Empire warlords and commanders are formally or secretly forming alliance with powerful group of supervillains such as the Order of the Five, the Galactic, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Order of the Seven, and the Sacred Circle, and the founders themselves, and the founders themselves, and the founders themselves as well, forming an alliances with those group of supervillains in order to further their own goal and their missions. With the assistance of the enlightened colleagues and members, the Shadow Empire warlord and commanders will still remain in power. During at that time, the Universal King was quietly not exactly pleased that the original Lord of Magic is quietly dead, and he quietly faces demise by the prophecy child known as the Universal Man. This Universal Man is the prophecy child, the prophesized child, raised by the original Universal Man and Universal Woman, who exactly died for him and who exactly died for him in birth, who exactly died for him in order to protect him and conceal him away. This Universal Man, this newly Universal Man, his name is Grayson Ferris Unity. He's the son of Greg Unity, the original Universal Man, and Crystal Ferris of the original Universal Man, the most powerful hybrid Formation Hunter's origins that ever existed throughout the Sacred World's history. So just in order for you guys to know that exactly, he exactly told his secret identity to the Universal King in order to make sure that he completely trust him and that they completely trust each other. After that time, the Intergalactic Coalition was quietly preoccupied in order to maintain damage control from the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in order to keep the war secretive from the rest of humanity. But the war itself continued to spiral out of control as Red Bolt and his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Dark Order have finally sat at the throne of the Shadow Empire, ruling it and commanding it in order to wage war with the Star Empire. Remember the Star Empire? The Star Empire is a powerful, formidable empire that is ruled by the Star Witch Queen and also the Star Prince that are quietly waging war with the Sacred Universe and with the Sacred World, and that are currently at war with the Shadow Empire and Red Bolt and his ancient secret society. The Star Empire and the Dark Star. The Dark Star is a dark secret society of supervillains of the members of the members of Dark Star, a group of supervillains overall exactly from the Star Universe with the clear goal and with the clear mission to conquer the Sacred World and the Sacred Universe and enslave all the known worlds and all the civilizations throughout the galaxy by any and all means necessary. Despite this, Red Bolt was quietly very much ambitious to conquering the Star Universe and enslaving the rest of the Star Universe's people and kind and species by using the Shadow Empire's resources and resources for its ultimate goal and for its ultimate ambition, believing that the Shadow Empire and the Dark Order will fulfill its ultimate goal and purpose and ambition in ruling and in conquering the Star Universe and the rest of the Star Empires and the rest of the Star Empire warlords and commanders and people. No matter what, despite this, the Universal King was quietly distraught and more quietly upset that his son himself is now a supervillain known as a Universal Prince. The son he also raised himself, known as his son, the son that he also raised himself and gave birth to him and gave in birth and was quietly present there at his birth when his wife, the Universal Queen, known as the Universal King, was also quietly devastated to learn that his son, the Universal Prince, is now a supervillain who formed another ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the 12, with the goal of ruling the sacred universe and the sacred world and humanity through chaos and destruction and also despair by putting the Universal Prince at the throne sitting at the universal throne for him to exactly rule and conquer the rest of the known universe and the rest of sacred existence, no matter what. He was quietly destroyed, and he was very quietly not exactly happy that his son is now a supervillain and the most powerful, formidable villain, ruling and leading other supervillains to his ultimate goal to conquering and enslaving humanity and the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the sacred universe. Despite this, the Universal King and the Universal Heroes realized that they were attacked from all sides, especially with the new rumors of the newly Nolo Magic and his ancient secret society that are ruling from the shadows, that are planning to rule from the shadows, and that are planning to exactly rule from the shadows and ruling the Shadow Empire from the shadows, and in order to wipe out and exterminate the supernaturals and the aliens of the sacred world and of the sacred universe permanently and for good by removing them out of the way so they can exactly rule and enslave as much of the population and as much of the civilizations throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence. Despite this, the Universal King exactly decided it's time that he picks up the pace and fight against his son's forces, realizing that this could soon not just be an all-out war. This could exactly turn out into a secret galactic war for power and for control over the galaxy and over the rest of sacred existence, and it could alter the sacred history for good and for ill, and for good and for ill, no matter what exactly. The Universal Man quietly greeted him that his forces and the rest of his heroes and his clones are preoccupied by fighting other ancient secret societies of supervillains such as the Order of the Five, the Founders, the Order of the Six, Order of the Seven, the Galactic Sacred Circle, Unholy Alliance themselves, Unholy Alliance, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, Lord Justin, Lord Winter King, and Lord Shadow Jack, Lord Shadow Jack, the most powerful Dark Warlock, a leader of his Shadow Empire and an ally of the Sacred Circle, which I told you about on the other video, on the other episode. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, Lord Shadow Jack, look it up, guys. You'll find the episode there. Despite that, they are the most powerful super villains and ancient forces of evil that have existed for many centuries with a goal and ambition to enslave all of existence, no matter what, for sole dominance and for sole control over the galaxy and over the sacred universe and over the other universes, the Golden Universe, Star Universe, Mixed Universe, Robotic Universe, Sacred Universe, Over Universe, and all the other universes, no matter what. Despite this, the Universal King realized that the sacred world and the Universal Throne are quietly in grave danger. In order to exactly take further steps and measures to protecting it, he has to exactly disappear in order to fight the war from within, in order to understand his son's ultimate goal and plans from his enlightened colleagues and members, which he successfully did exactly by doing so. He started to disappear on the 1st of October and was, after all, never seen again. During the Universal King's disappearance, his advisors, and his wife, the Universal Queen, decided in order to take steps to protecting the Universal Throne from the Universal Prince, in order to exactly place the next descendant, over the throne, known as the Universal Princess, who was quietly sent away during her early life to be raised on planet Earth to live amongst the humans in secrecy, in order to protect her from the Universal Prince, who's become a supervillain and an ancient force of evil that has a clear goal and a mind to rule and conquer the sacred world and the sacred universe by any means necessary. The Universal Council and the rest of the Universal King's advisors quietly disagree that the Universal Princess has quietly grown too human in order for her to take the throne. She won't exactly like their responsibilities. But the Universal Queen stated that right now they're running quietly and running out of time. They have to exactly put a proxy, they have to exactly put someone else behind in order to sit. In doing so, the Universal King's other advisor decided that he will take the rightful place as to becoming the Universal King in order to exactly make sure that the Universal Prince and his forces don't exactly say that they don't, in order to prevent further chaos and further destruction and avoiding all wars and conflicts from the sacred world and from the sacred universe that are already being manipulated by the most powerful enemy ever existed by any means necessary, which the Universal Queen started to disagree on that matter. In order to put the Universal Princess at the throne was a wise decision, not to put someone else on the outside who doesn't completely know how to rule the sacred world or the sacred universe. During that time of the Universal King's disappearance, the Universal King exactly managed to take down some few operatives of the Universal Prince in order to take down the superhuman trafficking that's been supplying the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with an army of superhumans at their command, in order to use an army of superhumans at their command in order for them to lay waste to the Intergalactic Coalition and to the rest of the Universal heroes and to the United Heroes. The Universal King was able to take down some of those operations throughout the other planets and throughout the other worlds in order to bring them down, and was able to gather a few intelligence and information about his son, who was exactly planning to take over the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the sacred world and the rest of the sacred world and the rest of the sacred world, and conquering the rest of humanity. In doing so, he was able to successfully rendezvous and we meet up with a few of his colleagues known as the Universal Earth Heroes and the Universal Team, able to telling him that they should exactly work together in order to bring down the Universal Prince and the rest of his forces, which the Universal King successfully agreed on that matter. He was able to reconvene with the members of the Universal Heroes on the 19th of October at the headquarters on planet Earth, at the other headquarters on planet Earth within a cave of an island, able to discuss the next plans of movements in order to prevent the Universal Prince from sitting at the throne and from wreaking havoc and across the galaxy and across the known universe. The Universal King was quietly very much admin and very quietly appreciative of the Universal Earth Heroes and Universal Man's team, able to exactly help him through the operations of his son. Despite that, the Universal King realizes that this battle against his son is an inevitable battle and is an inevitable war that's going to take place one way or another. And then with the newly noble magic ruling the Shadow Empire from the shadows, and Red Bolt quietly fully taking control of the Shadow Empire, and the Star Empire starting to exactly making preparations to conquer the sacred universe, he sensed that there's a huge galactic conflict on the approaching very soon and very quietly soon and very quietly faster, and he wasn't exactly quite pleased of that. He decided that he would rather continue working in the shadows in order to prevent his son's operatives and agents in order from making chaos and further damage. But in doing so, Universal Man continues supplying him with the members of the sacred team in order to aid him with his mission and goals, which they were able to successfully happen. On the on the 13th of November, the Universal King was able to fight against some of his son's agents and forces, some of his son's alien agents and forces against the Solar Empire warlords and commanders by thwarting their operations and the rest of their plan. And in doing so, he was able to exactly uncover a secretive operation run exactly and in charge by another supervillain known as Dr. Darkness, who's the founder and leader of the Unholy Alliance, who was busy experimenting with shadow energy and superhumans in order to access the powers of immortality and the powers of death and life itself. The Universal King was quietly devastated that Dr. Darkness was so close in uncovering the secrets of immortality and life and death. He decided himself that it's time exactly to put an end to Dr. Darkness's plans and his sinister plans in order to make sure that the Unholy Alliance members don't exactly remain the rulers of the cosmos or any of that. In doing so, he sabotaged Dr. Darkness's operations and destroyed them. He wasn't exactly indeed in battle with Dr. Darkness, but Dr. Darkness was able to gravely injure him with his dark magic blast and was successfully able to teleport away him and his operatives. The Universal King was able to liberate Dr. White, who is a scientist, and also who's also a scientist, and was a very, very well clever, seductive scientist, but also manipulative scientist with an evil agenda of her own, able to successfully liberate her from being coerced by Dr. Darkness and by Dr. Universe's plans and sinister plans and saving her without realizing that she was also part of those plans of her own in order to creating an army and children of superhumans to be raised by herself. But during at that time, the Universal King wasn't quietly occupied by that. It was rather occupied by what Dr. Darkness and the members of the Unholy Alliance were really, really up to and what exactly they were really planning behind the scenes of these massive operations and plans that they were exactly willing to do in order to remain the rightful rulers of the cosmos. Despite this, the Universal King was able to gather information and intelligence about his son's plans in order to conquer the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the rule the universe by sitting at the universal and wasn't exactly quietly pleased with this. Despite this, he took drastic measures and steps and protecting the other worlds and other civilizations from the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders. He continued to fight against them and he continued to bring them down with the assistance and aid from the sacred team, of group of superheroes who are quietly a covert team working under the Formation under console, and who are quietly formally led by the Universal Heroes, who are now partners of the Universal Heroes now, and who are secretly working for the Intergalactic Coalition and are secretly coordinating with the members of the Intergalactic Coalition and with the members of the Universal Heroes and of the United Heroes, and still secretly working with the Universal King as partners of the because they share the same common goal and interests. Despite this, the Universal King was able to continue his massive work and his massive plans in liberating many captive humans and aliens that are placed control chips and necks that are placed control chips and necks under them that are placed the captive humans and aliens will place crystal chip biometric control chip on at the back of their necks in order to exactly render them to follow every orders of their masters. But the Universal King and the Sacred Team were able to liberate those hostages and those people away, and some taking the humans straightly into the human world, sending them straight into the human world and erasing their memories of whatever exactly happened, so that they don't exactly expose the sacred world and the sacred universe's conflicts and wars to the rest of the human public, to alert the human public of what's really happening with this hidden world that's in the brink of fire and in a war. Despite this, the Universal King continued his work and his operation in fighting against the forces of evil and preventing his son from seizing control of the Universal Throne, able to prevent his son's operative from exactly seizing power and control over numerous worlds and over numerous planets. And he still heard rumors of the newly Little Magic and his ancient secret society that are still operating within the shadows, that are planning to conquer and rule the sacred universe, and by wiping out the supernaturals and the rest of the aliens of the sacred world for good, meaning that plan and its inevitability is literally coming. And he sensed that the monsters from the dark dimension are also coming out from the dark dimension in order to wage war with the 4 Nation Hunters and with the 5 Nation Hunters. In doing so, the Universal King realizes that the sacred world and the sacred universe is now in a pandemical state of a war that can never be undone and can never be achieved in order to achieve balance and peace. Meaning that, in other words, they'll have to do everything. He realized that he has to do everything in his power to make sure that his son never sits at the universal throne, no matter what. Despite this, the Universal King continues operations and his work in liberating many captive souls and injured aliens who are abducted by the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in order to further their plans, and he continues waging war against the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Ice Stewards, the Water Children, the Ice Stewards, the Water Children, and the Water Druids, and the Water Witches, and the Water Faithful, and against a dark group of dark magic users known as the Dark Seekers, and the Seconds, who are a group of dark powerful magic users who are quietly led by another ancient secret society of supervillains known as Sacred Five. Despite this, the Universal King continued waging war against the force of evil, able to take down all of the operations, able to bring them down, able to take down the Druids, the Witches, the Faithful, a group of all of them with the help of the Sacred Team, and with half of the members of the Incarnate Coalition were able to help him. In doing so, the Universal King teleported himself straightly to the throne room of the Shadow Empire in order to confront Red Bolt on the 1st of January, in order to tell him exactly what was his plan. Red Bolt told the Universal King that his plan is to rule the rest of the sacred universe and the rest of the sacred world and the known worlds and planets of the sacred universe by any means necessary. He exactly believes that he is destined to ruling it and conquer it no matter what, and he will exactly achieve that goal. The Universal King told Red Bolt straightly to his face that goal will never become a reality. As long as exactly still draws breath and still exists, he will prevent the enemy from exactly seizing power and control over numerous worlds and over numerous planets. And he won't exactly let the enemy manipulate the war to his advantage no matter what. He confronted Red Bolt and told him that face to face. And Red Bolt told him that how is he planning to do that when he's busy working from the shadows while his son is busy planning to sit on a throne by creating chaos and destruction upon his reign. Once he sits on the universal throne, he will unleash chaos and destruction upon the world of humanity and across the known universe. How is he exactly planning to do that when the Universal King told Red Bolt that he's still exactly preventing his son's forces from exactly seizing control of numerous worlds and numerous planets? No matter what, he will exactly stop him. He completely teleported himself out and was able to meet back at the base. He was able to meet back at the headquarters of the Sacred Team Heroes, able to tell him that he confronted Red Bolt straight away, and he told him that he's not backing down from this fight or from this war, that he will take down the Million Level Magic and the rest of the other supervillains such as the Dark King, Golden Knight, Dark Light, Shadow Master, Ghost Master, Black Mask, Deathblade, Dark Druids, Dark Witches, Nebula Bringer, Jake Bringer, Lord Shadow Jack, Lord Winter King, Lord Power, Lord Justin, Lord Ra, the Sacred Circle, the Order of the Five, Order of the Six, Order of the Seven, the Galactic, the Unholy Alliance, told him straight away, and also the newly Lower Magic and his ancient secret society told the members of the superheroes, told the members of the sacred heroes that he will take down the forces of evil no matter what, and he's not going to give up, even if it means he has to work behind the shadows. Then that's exactly what he's willing to do in order to prevent his son from seizing the throne and unleashing chaos and destruction upon the known universe and upon the world of men, and that he will not exactly let that happen no matter what. Guys, despite this, the Universal King has a good heart and has a gentle heart. He loves the inhabitants and the aliens and the supernaturals of the sacred world and of the sacred universe. He loves his son so deeply and his daughter so deeply. He was quietly heartbroken when he learned that his son is now a super criminal and a super villain, a highly powerful and formidable super villain who has formed his ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Twelve, with the goal of ruling the galaxy and the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred world and the sacred universe by no matter what, by thrusting it into chaos and destruction and also into despair. Despite this, the Universal King is very caring. He loves working with the Universal heroes. He and Universal Man formed like a brotherhood partnership with Hank Starwood and Sam Starwood and also Boggle Smith and Ivy Ferris Hellfire. They formed some sort of family superhero partnership. He quietly grew fond of the new Universal Man, and he quietly views them as a brother as well as the members of his teammates. He views them as all his brothers and sisters, and he quietly loves his wife and the rest of the Universal Council and the rest of the Four Nation Hunters, and he will do whatever it takes to protect them. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, tactician, leadership. He leads the Universal Council with greatness, and he rules the known universe and the sacred world and the sacred universe with an iron fist. He believes that what he's doing is for the greater good of the sacred world and of the sacred universe, and he will not allow any super criminal or super villain to ascend to the universal throne in order to abuse its power for evil purposes or for dark evil purposes or for evil sinister plans or for one of their own in order for them to abuse that power and unleash chaos and destruction upon their wake. Despite this, the Universal King is an ally of the Universal Heroes and he's a member of the Intergalactic Coalition. He loves working for them and he loves working behind the shadows in order to exactly protect humanity and mankind from the forces of evil such as the monsters, the Dark Sisters, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Seconds, the Dark Seekers, Ember, the Goddess of Power, Witch of Power, Sacred Five, Icewall, the newly normal magic, and also the Order of the 12, the Order of the Seven, the Order of the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Galactic Sacred Circle, and also the Founders, and also the Dark King, Dark Grey, and also Black Knight and Silver Knight. He believes that those forces of evil are an obstacle and a threat to sacred peace and to sacred balance, and he'll do whatever it takes in his power and capacity to restore sacred peace and sacred balance to the known universe and to the rest of the sacred universe and to the rest of sacred existence. No matter what, guys, no matter what. He will never give up. Even throughout his last breath, he will never give up. He's very beautiful and very, very handsome and very, very quietly immortal. He has lived for 20,000 years. By his side is his wife, the Universal Queen, who exactly leads him as his advisor, exactly rules by him as his advisor in order to exactly advise him on situations or dealing on any other diplomatical problem and status and everything else. And he also believes that his wife is quite the reason that his son has become evil and more powerful than the way he is. But despite that, he loves his wife and he'll always protect her and he'll always exactly guide her. He won't exactly hurt her, even if when his wife has become a supervillain or rogue, powerful dark witch or anything else like that, he will exactly still love her and continue to protect her, and he will always exactly respect her. But despite this, the Universal King loves his family. He loves his daughter, the Universal Princess. He even sent her away many years ago, many centuries ago, in order to live amongst the humans when one of his forces were within the human world, in order to protect her from the Universal Prince, who he believes will become a villain one day and wreaking untold havoc and disasters upon the sacred world and upon the rest of sacred existence, no matter what. Despite this, he's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, endurance, marksmanship, leadership, super strength, super speed, super hearing, invulnerability, and also super sight and super senses. He's gifted with those powers and those abilities, and also very gifted in hand-to-hand combat, in martial artists. He's very gifted in those abilities and those powers. He's very intelligent, highly clever, highly smart, a very, very good hacker. He hacks things, and he also is a very, very, very good, complicable hacker. His father and mother told her how to do well with computers and technologies and all of that. He's very crafty with technology, and he's very intelligent, very, very smart, and very perceptive, and very kind, and very loyal to his teammates and to his colleagues, especially to the new Universal Man, and also to Hank Starwood, who's the new leader of the newly Alliance, a group of superheroes who are working together and who are secretly coordinating with the Universal Heroes, who share the same goals and believe that humanity and the rest of sacred existence deserve to be in peace and in balance and in harmony. That they'll exactly serve mankind by protecting it from the forces of evil and from a group of supervillains and from a group of evil supervillains, and also by fighting sinister super criminals who are wreaking large havoc and chaos throughout the world at large and throughout the rest of sacred existence. No matter what, guys, no matter what. The Universal King believes that humanity, it is exactly, after all, worthy to exactly live its own life by the way it has to and by the natural law of nature, that humanity does exactly have a chance to live the way it's supposed to, not to be ruled and then to be conquered. But despite that, he will exactly do whatever it takes to protecting humanity and mankind in secret, and he will always exactly do exactly the great job, doing exactly the great job of fighting for humanity, spirits, and soul by protecting it from forces of evil, and from the forces of darkness who dare threaten the sacred peace and the sacred promise of their previous ancestors who exactly fought for it and died for it many centuries ago. Now that him and the Galaxy King have made peace, the Galaxy King is quietly at his disposal in order to ask for resources and anything else, but he doesn't ask exactly for the Galaxy King's resources or of help, since his son is now compromising, since his son has corrupted the half of the formation, half of the sacred world's forces, and politics and leaders and commanders of the universal throne into his own rules and into his own for his own ultimate gain and for his ultimate goals and for his ultimate sinister plans. But despite this, the universal king will take down his son and will bring an end to his ultimate goals and plans before they bear to fruition. He's a very great leader. He leads with great authority. He believes in what he's doing, and he believes in what the universal heroes are doing, and as well as the Alliance and the 4 Nation Hunters and the 5 Nation Hunters, the 10 Nation Hunters, the 100 Hunters, 12, 11, 17 Hunters. He believes in all what they're exactly doing, and he quietly will exactly aid them in their respective missions in saving humanity and the rest of planet Earth and the rest of the galaxy and the known universe and the rest of sacred existence from all the threats known as the Dark Monsters, the Dark Witches, the Dark Druids, the Dark Faithful, the Ice Children, the Ice Clan, Ice Wall, the Sacred Five, the Unholy Alliance, the Galactic, Lord Victor, Lord Six, and all the other sinister threats that are wreaking large multitude of havoc and chaos throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence. He's reluctantly intelligent and reluctantly smart and caring and determined to put an end to all these sinister foes and villains' goals and machinations and of their goals and their beliefs, no matter what. He will not exactly allow them to wreak so much chaos and destruction upon while he draws breath, no matter what. He'll do whatever it takes to restore peace and harmony to the sacred world and to the sacred universe and make it a safer universe and a safer world for the rest of the supernaturals and the aliens that live there. And then I'll make sure that it's all in harmony and in the great works of the gods of light, which he quietly believes in. Despite this, the Universal King is a very caring king. He's very smart, beautiful, perceptive, and also very determined and loving, kindly. He loves his family and he loves working with the Universal Heroes and with the Sacred Team, the World Heroes, the United Heroes. He views those organizations of heroes as like brothers and sisters. He views them as brothers and sisters, and he kindly will do whatever it takes to protect them as well, and he'll always work with them, as well as with the members of the Intergalactic Coalition. He views them as brothers and sisters in arms and as comrades as well, in fighting for the same goals and mission for justice, peace, balance, prosperity, and harmony. That is what he's willing to do, no matter what. Against fighting his own son, who's a supervillain known as the Universal Prince, who's a founder and leader of the Order of the 12, he will stop him and his enlightened colleagues, no matter what. Despite this, guys, he'll do just that. I'll see you on next week, Monday. Have a wonderful weekend and a blessed weekend. I will see you on next week, Monday. Have a blessed weekend and a wonderful evening. I will see you on next week, Monday. So stay happy and love yourself and don't exactly doubt yourself, guys. Continue with the dreams and with your goals. You will achieve them and we'll all achieve them, no matter what. Bye-bye. Bye.